So,
no doubt. After that situation, where'd you find yourself?
damn, I went and I got a deal. Like I started with I left A.D.O.R, and then I got a deal with MS Distribution, which was another big independent. But at the time, now I have my deal direct. Now I'm building. So now True Rain Records is directly distributed. There's no middleman. The money's mine, right? With MS Distribution, and they were a good big independent distribution company, also. And all of a sudden I'm getting ready to work with them and put some stuff out and blah blah blah. And all of a sudden they decide that they're not gonna sell CDs anymore. Like they left the music business in a way. Like maybe like 4 months after I signed a distribution deal with them. They decided they're not gonna do CDs anymore. So I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna work. Right. And then the cool thing was I met with Nile Rodgers from Chic, right? And people would always, want to give me some attention and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be independent. Like I was independent, bro. Like really, when independent was a New York hip hop label, independent, True Rain Records is like an original one, like on some hip hop records. I have a lot of 12 inches out there that you'll see that are all True Rain Records. Like all, so I met with Nile Rodgers, and then he gave me a cool distribution deal through him with Something Distribution. And that's when I did some re-releases. And now the masters, I had rights to the masters and stuff like that. Because now time has gone by, even re-recording, like I could re-record, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody owned nothing of mine anymore, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like all the rights are up, like, like after 7-10 years, you could re-record your stuff and that was released. And if you re-record, if it's yours, like your vocals, your lyrics, your songs, nobody owns it but you.
Right.
So I re-recorded some stuff and I put out a 12-inch. We re-released Let It All Hang Out on 12-inch, and it blew up crazy with Something Distribution. Like I had crazy vinyl sales, did well. And yeah, man. And then I was with them riding for a little while, and I put out my album Animal 2000, which is a cool album, one of my favorite albums. I mean, that's a hidden jewel. People got to check that out. And I made almost that whole album with my little brother. God rest his soul. He passed away on me a few years ago, and we made this album called Animal 2000 that I put out through Something Distribution. That did well. I was making money from that. I did some 12 inches. I did another album with them. I did Signature of the Ill. Now I'm rolling. I'm doing a couple releases here, the Signature of the Ill album, which is my third album. And then I did a thing called True Jewels and Videotape, which is like a double CD with all my videos. Because like I made videos like independently. Like one of my big singles that I did independently that pushed the Shock Frequency album was with Diamond D. I did a record called The Rush. And that record is a banger. And we made a video for it. That was a True Rain video too. So that video went out and did well. That was a Diamond D record I did. And that was on True Rain Records as well. And that was to promote the Shock Frequency album. And so I did all these releases with Something Distribution. And then they got away from music. They got just into games. Like they just started, like everybody's got away from music, streaming. When streaming came and the internet, it took away a lot, bro. It took away a lot of the physical CD, the physical presence, the presence in store. POP, it just took away a lot of the essence of music, especially hip hop music,
right?
In a lot of ways. But there's some good to it too, Like it's not totally wrong, but it just changed the business, right? So you have to change with the business. So I left Something Distribution because they weren't selling music anymore, and I did a deal with the Orchard. Like right now, I have a deal with the Orchard for. Through Sony, True Rain. My distribution is all via streaming now, but True Rain is like distributed through the Orchard, and that's what I do now. But I'm also just doing a lot of signing a lot of other deals with other record companies and stuff like that. That that are using like some of my, I don't know when you want to get into it, but like I did a vocal back in the day from One for the Trouble that became like at that time it got used, and Fatboy Slim did it in London. They took they looped my vocal, and it just became this iconic vocal, like massive global EDM dance house. It's like one of the most used vocals of my voice and my lyrics, And
Right.
after all those years, me owning the rights to it again and being able to re-record it, I just blown up because it's just used all the time now. It's remixed and redone with big European labels, and there's massive releases out on it. And so I was blessed, and I was blessed that I even got to make that record, because if I would have never got that record out, the world would have never had Renegade Master. So all them dance and house and EDM global cats would never have, back once again, it's the Renegade Master. D for damage and power to the people with the ill behavior. You know what I'm saying? That would never be. And that's like a huge, it's iconic, bro. It really is. Like, if you do the knowledge on it, check on it.
Right.
It's massive.
So did the Concrete ever see a proper release date?
It never really saw a proper release. But a cool thing was there was a label called Hip Hop Enterprise that reached out to me a few years ago, and they were one of the people who really realized how great of an album it was. Like from a label standpoint, they were like, this album needs to be properly released. I mean, it was out there. People would always talk about, online. You'd see, man, the Concrete. There's some magazines and stuff that said, man, the Concrete, when it came out, it was a hip hop gem for the '90s. It was really a quality album for that sound for the '90s, the golden era of hip hop music. A.D.O.R definitely made his contribution. I mean, just the producers alone on the record, the beats. I A&R'd that album, all them beats and stuff. I selected all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made all that records with them. I picked almost every track that we made, and then I wrote to them. You ain't no ghostwriters. You know what I'm saying? Every A.D.O.R record you hear is me. That's my lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And so we made the so with those tracks being made, I just kept flowing. So Hip Hop Enterprise was like, we want to give it a proper release. So they did this beautiful vinyl, like double vinyl, all original artwork. Even had like a original piece of called Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? Like in the label fold. You can see it online if you just check it out on IG, or you can check out my IG and you'll see it. At TRUADOR. You'll see the Concrete album was released on double vinyl with like color vinyl and stuff like that. I don't even know, but you might be. It's hard. There's a piece of it right there on my wall back there. It's like the one with all these cool colors and swirls, like a bomb pop. It's just amazing vinyl, and it was like a limited release, sold out real fast. Fat Beats sold out on it. We only made, I think they made like 1,500 to 2,000 copies, but it was real expensive. It was like $50, $60 for the album. Double vinyl, crazy artwork, all the original artwork from the Concrete, the original album cover, 25th anniversary. So yeah, it was properly released in some ways, but not really, not to the world the way it should have been. And that's one thing I think, not that I just don't regret, but I think people who really like quality and good hip hop music, they didn't get a chance to really get it, and hopefully through cats like you, it's still out there. It actually just became available on Spotify. That album is like my only album that's on Spotify. Like all my other albums, like Animal 2000, Shock Frequency, Signature of the Ill, those albums are on Apple iTunes, but they're not on Spotify. I think I'm going to get them put on Spotify, but we'll see.